From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are following at this hour. Many days over the past 2 weeks, no one answered the phone at any of U.S. Representative Scott Perry's four offices. Perry's team did not share details about the Republican congressman's public appearances until they were over. Even supporters who live in Perry's central Pennsylvania district could not remember the last time he hosted an in-person town hall. No one opened the locked door at his district office in Mechanicsburg last week when an Associated Press reporter rang the bell. A male voice said through the intercom, "I don't have any public appearance information that I can provide." The U.S. House is ending a 17-day recess, typically known as a district work period, in which members of Congress return home to focus on their constituents. But some of the most vulnerable Republicans limited their potential exposure to the potential backlash from President Donald Trump's first months in office. They are embracing the strategy outlined by GOP leaders in Washington who argue there is no benefit to creating more viral moments such as the crowd in Asheville, North Carolina, that booed U.S. Representative Chuck Edwards and the pointed questions about tariffs and deportations that were directed at U.S. Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa. Perry, who won re-election last fall by about 5,000 votes, is one of the 10 most vulnerable House Republicans as measured by their margins of victory last fall. They were especially hard to find during the recess, though it was difficult to verify many of the public schedules due to the inconsistent responses from their offices. None of them, a collection of swing district conservatives from Arizona, Colorado, California, Iowa, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, hosted in-person events that were open to the public. Just one planned a telephone town hall. Others favored smaller invitation-only gatherings with local officials promoted only after they were over. In other news, Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers have in recent days deported the Cuban-born mother of a 1-year-old girl, separating them indefinitely, and 3 children ages 2, 4, and 7 who are U.S. citizens along with their Honduran-born mothers, their lawyers said Saturday. The 3 cases raise questions about who is being deported and why, and come amid a battle in federal courts over whether President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown has gone too far and too quickly at the expense of fundamental human rights. Lawyers in the cases described how the women were arrested at routine check-ins at ICE offices, given virtually no opportunity to speak with lawyers or their family members, and then deported within 3 days or less. The American Civil Liberties Union, National Immigration Project, and several other allied groups said in a statement that the way ICE deported children who are U.S. citizens and their mothers is a shocking, although increasingly common, abuse of power. We have no idea what ICE was telling them, and in this case, what has come to light is that ICE didn't give them another alternative, Willis said in an interview. They didn't give them a choice, that these mothers only had the option to take their children with them despite loving caregivers being available in the United States to keep them here. The 4-year-old, who was suffering from a rare form of cancer, and the 7-year-old were deported to Honduras within a day of being arrested with their mother, Willis said. In the case involving the 2-year-old, a federal judge in Louisiana raised questions about the deportation of the girl, saying the government did not prove it had done so properly. And finally, as he does one day each month, the Reverend Robert Turner hit the road from his home in Baltimore last week and traveled on foot 43 miles to Washington, D.C. He arrived by evening on April 16th outside the White House carrying a sign that called for reparations now. This time, Turner added another stop on his long day's journey, the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Turner knelt in prayer and laid a wreath at the entrance of the museum in support of its mission, which incurred President Donald Trump's criticism alongside other Smithsonian Institution sites. In a March 27th executive order, Trump alleged the Smithsonian exhibits had disparaged the nation's history via a divisive, race-centered ideology. Turner wanted to show support for the museum, which opened in 2016 and received its 10 millionth visitor in 2023. The museum tells the history of chattel slavery, Jim Crow segregation, and its lingering effects, but it also highlights the determination, successes, and contributions of Black Americans and Black institutions. I laid my wreath down there to show solidarity with the museum and the history that they present every day, said Turner, pastor of Empowerment Temple African Methodist Episcopal Church in Baltimore. He said his church is committed to becoming a museum member, and he's encouraged church members to do the same. Membership costs start at $25 per year, according to an online form on the museum site. That's the news at this hour. If you are watching our news videos on YouTube, please be sure to click the subscribe button. Now back to more music on PEP Radio.